What's up guys, my name is Robert Mack with 5 Realty, and today I'm standing in front of one of my newest listings coming to the market at 24712 Bell Green Place in Lake Forest. Now, I'm not here just to talk about this property. What I'm really here for is to show you what we do when we list properties, the transformation that takes place from when we meet with the homeowner to when the home is ready to go on the market. So let's go inside and take a look. One of my favorite features about this property is the amount of land that it sits on. The lot size is 7,200 feet, and in addition to the beautiful curb appeal that this home offers, you've got this private front yard sanctuary. And I don't know about you, but not many homes offer front yard outdoor living, and this one totally does, especially if you have small kids. This private gate keeps them in, keeps them safe, but gives them the outdoor space that they want, especially with the grass, because when you see the backyard, you'll see it's mostly hardscaped and it's got a big pool. So if you're looking for grass, you're looking for fun, front yard works. And if you want fun in the sun, in the water, the backyard works. Let's go inside and see the rest of the place. So we're sitting inside of the beautiful living room, and before I show you the before photos and the after videos, I really want to help you understand why we're even talking about this transformation. Now, the reality is there are 25,000 licensed real estate agents in the Orange County area, and most of them will just list a home and put it on the market and hope that it sells. Now, I say that from experience because this is my 19th year in the business, and for the first 8 or 9 years, I just winged it. I didn't know what I was doing. No one really formally trained me on how to sell homes. But over time, I learned that buyers buy based on emotion. And I learned that when a buyer walks in and feels an emotional connection to a property, they're willing to spend more. I've seen it as a buyer's agent helping hundreds of buyers buy property, and I've seen it as a listing agent when I do this type of transformation, how the general public, the buyers, actually respond. These types of homes that have been transformed elicit tons of emotion and higher offers, and the homes that don't have any home prep involved don't sell for as much as they could sell for. And the number one reason why most home sellers hire us is because they know that we're able to squeeze more equity out of their sale than the average agent. For example, usually the numbers we use are if the homeowner we're working with is willing to invest anywhere from 1 to 1.5% of the anticipated sales price, on average, we're able to sell their property for 4 to 8% more, sometimes even up to 10% more, because of the emotional connection that the buyer gets. So let me run through this really quick, because you might be watching this for the first time and going, well, what transformation? Well, for this property, I'm gonna talk about the things that we did during the tour. But in general, when we walk into a home, we're looking at if there's carpet, we wanna have it professionally cleaned and vacuumed before the home is ready to see. If there's paint on the wall that's dark or it looks a little bit older, we want to have a fresh coat of paint. If there are eyesores around the property, holes in the wall, maybe some mold around the shower, we want to get that cleaned up. If there are any defects in the property, like the AC doesn't work, we want to get that fixed, or we want to make sure we disclose it. And finally, the mecca of all home marketing strategies is design. We have a professional stager on our team that will walk through the property and work with the homeowner to either partially stage their property, or in the best case scenario, when we're dealing with a vacant property, a full stage. So today we're gonna walk around this home and go room by room and talk about what it looked like before by showing you before photos, and then share with you what we did to transform it, and then you'll be able to see the final product. And hopefully after you see this whole video, you'll be able to understand why we're able to get the results that the average agent can't. Let's go take a look. Okay, so we're in the kitchen right now, and not a lot of transformation in this room. The paint was touched up to make it smell fresh and look fresh. We obviously did a deep clean in the property. The biggest transformation was really in design. So before this property was listed, the sellers had larger furniture. The furniture was pushing into this space. It just felt a little bit tight. And this home is 1,200 square feet. And so there's not a lot of room to work with. And so when you have a lot of stuff, it actually makes the home feel smaller. And with staging and design, one of the biggest strategies is by using the right size furniture for the room. And so our designer used this tasteful breakfast nook furniture, beautiful modern style color scheme. It's small, it's tucked away in the corner. It gets the job done. It shows the buyer the possibilities. When we talk about design, what we look for is we don't want the buyer to think about how the layout of the property is gonna be. We want them to see it and go, wow, I love that. And that's what this setup does. And we have this area rug that creates this space. Even though it's an open concept, you feel like there's this separate eating area that's not necessarily in the kitchen. And I also want to point out the garage. So this is the direct access into the garage. I'm not going to show you the garage, and the reason why I'm not going to show it to you is because the sellers are currently using it as temporary storage during their transition. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because many of our sellers use the garage as temporary storage to save money on additional storage costs. Also, it's significantly more convenient when they have access to their belongings versus having to drive to a storage facility. So if you're thinking about selling, you're like, oh my gosh, where am I gonna put all my stuff? The garage is a great place to start. Okay, let's go into the living room here. This is where most families spend most of their time. Now, as you look at the before photo, the first thing you're gonna see is there's a lot of stuff in this room. Bigger couch, bigger table, more furniture, bigger accessories, and what that all does is it makes the living space feel smaller. One of the number one things that we focus on when it comes to staging and design is using the right size furniture and the right color furniture in each room and not overfill it, because buyers want to see space. And when you're dealing with a 1,200 square foot home, there's not a lot of space to work with. So strategy really matters. Secondly, what you'll notice is we spent some money, invested some money on lighter paint in here. We wanted to brighten this space up a little bit. The light paint with the light coming in really gives this room exactly what buyers are looking for. And then the final touch is the art on the walls. Prior to our transformation, there was a lot of family photos on the wall. There were shelves with the plants on the wall. And what I like to tell people is how you live isn't how we want to sell your home. So it's not that you're living in the wrong property or your design isn't right. Most people live based on functionality and what brings them joy. But what brings you joy as the seller may not bring the highest and best offer. And so we want to depersonalize and declutter and really just give each room purpose. And that's exactly what we did here. Love the furniture, love the multiple seating areas. I love the area rug to kind of create that contrast between the darker floor and the lighter furniture. I know that when buyers see this, they're gonna fall in love. Let's go check out the other rooms in the back. Okay, welcome to the primary room. This is the largest room in the entire home, and we wanted to showcase it as the largest room in the entire home. Now, immediately when you look at the before photos to now, you're gonna see there's so much more space in here than before. Before, the owners had a bed here, but they also had a master retreat here. And again, although that functionally works for them and their lifestyle, when buyers are walking through, they don't wanna see too much furniture in each room. Lots of times, we as human beings, I feel like we try to fill space. And a lot of buyers are looking for, even though they don't know it, they're looking for a minimal design. And this design right here really showcases how large this bedroom is. We did new paint, fresh paint in here. It's light and bright. We removed a lot of the personal photos off the walls, and we did some tasteful art. And we had the carpets cleaned and they smell fresh. They look great. And we know that a buyer's gonna see this room and go, holy moly, this is exactly what we've been looking for. Okay, welcome to the secondary bedroom. Now, when we first walked into this property, this room was being used as a flex room or a bonus room. So they had a piano in here or a keyboard in here. They had a desk in here for the kids to do some work, maybe the owners to do some office work. whatever the case was, this was being used functionally as an office. Now, as a real estate agent selling a 3-bedroom property, I know that we want every single bedroom to showcase as a bedroom. Now, if we had a flex space that we could turn into kind of a quasi office or a bonus room, we would. But with 3 bedrooms in the home, we want every single one of those bedrooms to show as a bedroom. So the major changes that you'll see here, obviously we had the carpets cleaned, we had the walls painted, we had most of the accessories on the wall removed, we added some tasteful art similar to the rest of the property, a small little shelf for storage, a beautiful twin bed. Maybe this is a queen or a twin, but it's, again, the tip here is using the right size furniture for the room and then a couple nightstands. So very, very basic, very minimal, but a buyer will walk in and go, I can sleep here. And that's what we want as the listing agents. We want the buyers to think that they can live in the home. Okay, we saved the best for last. We were in the last room of the home before we go outside and check out the backyard. And this is where the biggest transformation happened. So this is the smallest of the 3 rooms. And when you look at the before photos, what you'll notice is that the sellers actually built bunk beds with desks underneath and a ladder going up so their 2 kids could share this room and have a blast. Now, as a kid, I would have killed to have something like that. But as a real estate agent looking to help my clients sell for the absolute highest and best price, I knew that although that setup made insane amounts of sense to this family, to the average family, it may not work. And so rather than taking the risk, my designer recommended that we remove that structure off the wall, patch the wall, and paint it. So you'll notice that we've got a fresh coat of light and bright paint in here. And then we removed all the personal property and designed this room tastefully with a single bed and a beautiful storage cabinet versus in the beginning, if you look at the before photos, this room, there was no space to breathe. And now it feels super spacious, almost bigger than the other room because of how it's designed. So it just goes to show with a little investment up front, you can really maximize the sale of your home, because when buyers see this, they're gonna fall in love and they're gonna wanna spend top dollar to get it. Okay, so did the buyer actually fall in love and did they pay top dollar? So before I get into that, I just wanna go back to what our anticipated strategy and expectations were before we started this whole project. So when we were talking to the seller, our initial consultation basically offered 2 proposals. The first was, we just sell this home as is. Let's get everything out, let's empty it out, and let's sell it as a vacant property. We felt as though based on the market and based on the condition of the home, an as-is sale would generate something between $975,000 to maybe slightly over $1 million. But we also discussed going through the RMG 5-point audit, where we talked about making miscellaneous repairs, having the home cleaned, having the inside painted, cleaning the carpets, and ultimately fully staging the property to elevate the buyer's emotional connection. We felt as though if the seller took that option, our anticipated sales price would be somewhere around $1,050,000 to $1,075,000. So when it came to pricing, we looked at the neighborhood, we looked at our current competition, and there was not a lot of properties available for sale. So we thought, hey, if we're ever gonna push the envelope here, let's do it on this property. So we decided, the seller and I decided to price this home at 1.1, which was slightly above what we felt the home would sell for. And our justification was, there's not a lot of options. So let's see if maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe somebody will pay 1.1 or very close to it. Well, the results, although good, were not great. The open house was fantastic. We had over 30 parties come through. The feedback was wonderful. No offers were submitted at that time. Then we went into the first week of private showings, and ultimately it was crickets. So I met with my sellers and we discussed the week prior, right? We discussed how we had a good amount of traffic, good feedback, but no offers and really no private showings. And we said, okay, well, timing is important. We want to sell this property quick. It's a new listing. We don't want it to get stale. What should we do? And we decided to get very aggressive and we dropped the price down to $998,000 for two reasons. The first reason was we wanted to expose this home to a whole new group of buyers, the sub $1 million buyer pool. The second reason was a brand new home came on the market that was very comparable, that had a lot of buyers' eyeballs and attention. So we thought if we were to bring our price down to where that new listing was priced, we could ride their wave. And guess what happened? We ended up getting 5 offers in 3 days, and we ultimately sold this property for $1,077,000, which is $2,000 more than our best case scenario. So, did our strategy work? Absolutely. Had we not staged this property, had we not spent time, effort, and money into the home preparation of this property, we would not have sold for the price that we did. So ultimately, when you break it down, the sellers invested roughly 1% of the sales price in home preparation to net an additional 7% on the back end. So if you're wondering, should I get my home ready to sell? Should I hire these guys and go through this home preparation process? The answer is absolutely yes. If you're a seller out there and you want to sell for the absolute most amount of money and you want to squeeze every single penny of your hard-earned equity out of the sale, make sure you give us a call. My team and I have everything covered for you.